I've had my senior colleagues who are male sexually come at me.
Wow.
And I'm like, bro, don't even do that. Like, I'll even go square with you. I'll even go square.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to DURA'S podcast here on Starry's Pictures with Afro Debbie. The last time we were here, we promised you a guest, and we made sure that he is here with us. He is an amazing filmmaker, producer, and so much more. Meet Mr. Ibim Isaacs.
Hello.
Welcome to the podcast, sir.
Thank you very much.
Hope you're feeling really good today.
Yes, I feel good. I feel sharp.
All right, so let's just take them back to our last podcast. We were looking at molestation in Nollywood. Yeah, it happens with the male and the females. Like I've received complaints from boys, from girls. So it's not just like a one gender thing. It's like the both genders.
Okay.
So we're talking, and I had my other colleague with me, Miracle, and we were talking. We're trying to know like whose fault is it, that these people get molested. If it's on their parts that they are desperate, or if it's on the filmmakers' part that they just want to take advantage of these people. So what do you think about it?
Okay, so first of all, I want to sympathize with anybody that has experienced molestation from any angle. I think I feel it's not necessary, it's uncalled for. But then again, I want to say that the industry is a mix of different kinds of persons. People who are not mentally stable, people who are desperate, people who don't know what they want, so they decide to take on any path that takes them to where they think they want to get to. And all this mental these states of mind, keep us at a certain perspective, either as praise or as predators. So it's so much on the plate, right? It's so much on the plate. I can't, as much as I want to say yes, it's the filmmaker's fault because he has to decide between the creative work or the lost. At the same time, I need us to also understand that there are actors who keep themselves as prey, intentionally or unintentionally, So there are cases where it is even the actor who comes at the filmmaker and goes out to cry foul, So you can't place your hand on a particular thing except you hear the story, and I mean, so that's my take basically.
Okay, so have you heard any story? Have anybody complained to you in Nollywood about this?
Yes. So from my standpoint as an actor,
or have you experienced it yourself?
Okay. So from my standpoint as an actor, producer, and all of that, I've got complaints, especially from the ladies. I'm saying XYZ director, XYZ actor, XYZ producer, XYZ production manager came at me and wanted, to forcefully get me. And the first question I asked them is, how? What did you do? Yes, because most people will always say, why would you feel that when somebody is sexually molested, the person did something? Yes, I will say that there's always an angle for the victim. For example, I was on a set. I was about to make a film with a particular lady, and I noticed she was making certain moves that were not comfortable with me. I didn't make it obvious. I just called her. Hey, can we talk? She said yes. Okay. I'm not comfortable with this you're doing. Right? So because I said it, she had to stop. I've had my senior colleagues who are male sexually come at me.
Wow.
And I'm like, bro, don't even do that. Like, I'll even go square with you. So the moment you do that, the guy knows that, okay, this person doesn't play this league with me. So when you come and you see the moves and you dress the way you think you want to dress as a lady, First of all, you are inviting ants to play when you drop sugar.
Yeah.
You understand? Secondly, you can't come to the public and not be body conscious. Then you're not mature. If you're not body conscious, if you're not conscious of your environment as regards people you're dealing with, how they move, why are they moving, if you're not that conscious, then you are not yet ready for the industry you are saying you want to be part of. And that is my issue. You see that, especially the ladies. You come to an audition, you dress in a certain way, your cleavage obvious, you wear a certain kind of trouser that shows like almost your down area, and the production manager comes for you and you say he's irresponsible. Are you going to call the ant irresponsible for chasing sugar? No. The aura you've given has made him feel like, okay, this one is one of those. Then the ones that say, oh, she was decently dressed. Seduction is not about the dressing, it's about the moves, it's about the onset things, it's about the eye language, it's about the voice, it's about the communication. Now, when you communicate in that tone, you make him feel like, okay, this girl is a good bad girl. Do you understand? Yeah. A director cannot be calling you in the night and chatting you up on WhatsApp on things that are not based on film, and you are allowing him. And when he says the word, you say he's molesting you. No. That's why I said there has to be, as much as the predator is a crazy person, I'm not even going to defend them. I also need us to understand that even the prey has a place has a chunk part of the blame. So it is, we all have to be conscious of the industry we are in. You can't go to a psychiatric ward and work like you're working in a bank. No, you're conscious of the fact, okay, this place rears extra kind of people. So there's a way I move, there's a way I talk. I shouldn't expect that everywhere there is normal. Do you understand? So when we begin to, at this point, I also want to say this, right? We want to blow out of proportion anything that happens in the film industry, in the entertainment space. I want to take out and also say this. Child molestation is not an entertainment virus only. It's working in the corporate world, in the banks, in the real estate industry, in the churches. These things happen, right? So we should not make it look like, oh, filmmakers, if we are just Nollywood, you guys are so immoral. No, we've had issues. In fact, I will tell you that we'll have more issues in the church than even in the film industry.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you understand? So we must treat it the way it is. Let's not be biased about the fact that, okay, it's entertainment, so you guys are free, so you guys do stuff because you're free. So it's what it is. I think that people should be conscious. And also the crew members should also understand that they should know when to put their emotions in check.
Okay, thank you very much for this. I believe that there are people out there that has heard all what Mr. Idema said. And then our next question, as a filmmaker in Port Harcourt, what frustrations do you encounter when working in Port Harcourt and with Port Harcourt people?
Okay, again, I don't think that I experience anything that is abnormal. I have a mentality that tells me that whatever is happening to a filmmaker in Port Harcourt is also happening to a filmmaker in Hollywood. It's also happening to somebody who's doing his business, even in the oil and gas sector. So I have my survival practices. So the basic problem I always have with Port Harcourt filmmakers, coming from the producer's point of view, is expertise. People should understand that your value is not on the amount of money you want to earn, but on the amount of knowledge you have, the results you have in doing what you're doing. So you have actors want to come to set and tell you, because I heard that the industry pays pay me XYZ. I don't have a problem with paying you money. I don't have a problem with paying you. In fact, no progressive producer, director, executive producer wants to work with an actor and not pay him or her. But the issue I have is when you bring the conversation of money, I also bring the conversation of value. So if you want me to pay you 100,000 naira, I will pay you 100,000 naira. But can you actually convert to make me have a profit of that same amount I'm paying you? And that's where the conversation begins to happen. Same thing happens to crew members. You're a cameraman and you carry the portfolio of a DP, and yet you can't set your lights right. You mess my picture up, and yet you tell me I'll pay you XYZ amount per day. Do you understand? So I think that the problem is undue understanding of what pricing should be, then the attitude of work ethics when it comes to timing, which I think that is a production management problem. It can be resolved. But basically, my issue with working with people around here is not understanding where their value begins and ends, and where their pricing should come to play. Then collaboration. I think that's what the industry is. Where it is collaboration. We are based on the fact that, okay, I want to do it on my own. I think I have it figured out. But you see, we need to come to the point where we get to understand that no industry is built by one person. It is a group work. You see Hollywood movie, you see Sony here, you see this there, and they all come together, to make a picture. And at the end of the day, they share profit. So when we begin to look at the industry from a value and collaborative perspective, we see that we will actually go very fast.
All right, that's very beautiful. And you were speaking about pricing, as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
So in Port Harcourt, as I have observed, there exist people I call middlemen.
Okay.
Who deduct up to half payments meant for. Okay, for example, I am a special effects makeup artist. So let me say, you referred me for a job, and so I don't get to speak to the executive producer directly.
Yeah.
So you're the one doing the negotiations with them.
Okay.
And then let me say, executive producer gives you like 200,000 naira. That's the pay you should pay me. And then you're giving me like 50,000 naira.
Okay.
And then when I try my best on set and I try to, just do up to what you gave me, and then maybe the executive producer now comes and he's shouting that, why is your makeup looking like this? I paid you like this, and then I get to discover that that means she even paid me more than. So these things I've noticed that it happens in this Port Harcourt. So how do you think we can stop this middlemen, or can we even stop them? How do you think?
Okay, negotiators are everywhere. You go to you're trying to pull a gig in with the corporate body, and they're telling you, okay, this person is going to help you, this, but you pay him, you're going to get 10% of whatever comes. So the thing I'm seeing here is greed. I've been a middleman to a whole lot of people, and they know that I get to a job, I get maybe 10% or 15% or whatever you're given. If I'm very close to the person, I could, okay, I'm gonna talk. But my standard basically is, I always tell people, if the price you are negotiating is not going to see you through the job, please don't accept it. That's what I tell you. Or for your own, if you're going to do it, then there should be a receipt. There should be a tangible document saying this is what I am paid, and by this this is where my service is going to begin and end. Because I also want us to understand this, right? Nobody cares about how much you were paid. People care about the output. So if your fee is 200,000 and you accept 50,000, by all means, deliver your job 100%. Don't give a 50k work because you were paid 50,000. If you look at it, okay, this 50k I'm collecting is not going to get me a good job, tell the person, sorry sir, 50k is not going to work. I'm going to do it at 100. I'm going to do it at XYZ amount. But the moment there's an exchange, the truth is, if I'm the producer and I come on set and I find out that I'm getting a bad job, I don't care who the middleman is. I'll get you arrested. Because accepting money is accepting responsibility. Right? Okay, I've looked at it, I can do it. So why you not in they didn't pay me? No, that is bull crap. That means that you are not a professional, you don't know what it takes to do your job. Because if you know what it means to do your job, you should know that, okay, will this thing affect my output? Because you are as good as your last job. So you're not going to go, okay, now we're at the point where everything goes on streaming and you can't tell the millions of people that are going to watch your product, right? Are you going to go to every house of, let's say the film makes 1 million views and the film is an hour and the 1 million people actually watch it for 1 hour? Are you going to go to the house of 1 million people to tell them, Madam Dumebi in Lagos, please, they paid me 50,000, that's why I didn't do the makeup well? Nobody cares. So if you're going to collect the money, then please, by all means, accept the responsibility that comes with the money. Whatever comes, it's your loss. If you don't want that level of loss, please tell the person, sorry, it's not going to work. You're my person, I respect you so much. And again, I'm going to say this, right? For your namesake, to any critic, for your namesake, it's important that you tell people no, more no's than yes. Tell them no. Look, I can't do this. Because the level of growth you're going to get is dependent on the amount, the quality of jobs you do. A lot of times you get emotional and passionate and say, okay, now my guy, make I do him. Yes, now your guy, make you could do him. But you're not going to tell people 5 years later, look, now my guy, let make I do nonsense film. So even if you're coming to the job for free, a lot of times to come through for our friends, and but we must ensure that, look, the right things are done. At least to that point, people can watch and say, okay, this film, if they had more budget, they would have done more. But it's not totally a bad film. So I think that people should learn to understand the responsibility of the money they're calling and know when to say yes or no.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Ibims, for being on this podcast. And this is where we're going to draw the curtain on DURA'S podcast this episode. Don't forget to subscribe on Stylist Pictures. Thank you very much once again.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
See you guys on the next